going on, everybody? I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by Chara Kirk.
What's up?
This is our non-spoiler review for the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion. Just want to give you our thoughts and feelings as honest as possible, as raw as possible, because we just watched it. Let's give you the IMDb, firstly, to just kind of help give the perspective of what this is about in case you've seen, very few trailers or none at all. Fury and Talos try to stop the Skrulls, who have infiltrated the highest spheres of the Marvel Universe. Very
sounds
ambiguous.
about right, yeah.
And I'm glad they kept it ambiguous. So how do we navigate this without giving too much away? I'd like to start with the fact that we are following Nick Fury and his journey in dealing with these matters. And Nick Fury and Talos together. And I think that what we have seen so far of their relationship and how they are dealing with these events is very, very interesting. It allows for a lot of cool, mature scene work. And mature is actually a theme that we'll be coming back to very, very soon in this video. It's very important. The Nick Fury that we see here is a different kind of Nick Fury. He's dealing with some of the events that we have seen him go through, and so it's changed him, to say the least.
Yeah, tonally, this is really interesting. As you probably saw from the trailers, they're definitely leaning into that espionage feel, and particularly in the first episode, there was a lot of that, a lot of mystery, a lot of like, who can we trust? And a lot of very unexpected and shocking moments.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, we will have, cut down reactions coming out on YouTube. And if you join our Patreon or memberships, you can get, full uncut reactions. If you have a Disney Plus subscription, you can just, watch it along with us. So that's a different way to enjoy the show with some buddies. The maturity. Okay. That's an important topic I want to bring up, because these episodes are longer than what you're probably used to from Disney Plus. Usually they're like 30 minutes or less, and everything from me, my big complaint, long-running complaint with Disney Plus content has been that it's like too short, and it's like it's over before it starts. It almost felt like footnotes of a story rather than really getting immersed in the story. And for me, finally, this has changed, because these episodes are like 52 minutes long, and it allows you to really get immersed in the story and the journey that Nick Fury is going on here.
Yeah.
And you feel things with him, and there's an opportunity to actually invest in the emotion of scene work that actors are putting in, rather than just having a highlights of, oh, well, this is the kind of feeling that's supposed to happen. Okay, next scene. I mean, you still get that to a certain degree, because I wish it slowed down even more than it did. But I think from a Chara's perspective, you feel like they struck the perfect balance.
Yeah, for me, it did. And I want to second what you said about the scene work, because there were some incredible acting moments, really strong scenes.
Yeah.
And also, Marvel has a history of hiring extremely talented A-list actors, and I feel like the show is really allowing these actors to like stretch their acting chops. And the introduction of Olivia Colman in this universe is really fun for me, because I enjoy her and I enjoy her work a lot, and I thought that she was just really fun in this series.
So just as a caution for parents who have been watching all Marvel things with their kids, this one, takes things to a higher level in terms of some of the violence that you see. And in terms of like the tone and the pacing, it's probably not what you're used to, especially episode 1. It's the most un-Marvel-like thing that has come out in a while from Marvel. They really went out of their way to make this feel different from everything we've been getting. While you are kind of retreading some of the same themes and ideas, it's exploring it in a way that feels more grown up than ever before. Not that they're going full-blown like HBO Game of Thrones, but it definitely takes things to a place that you don't expect. I'm like, whoa, I can't believe we just saw that. That was kind of crazy. The VFX is stellar. I'm happy to report. There's been that controversy in the news, not in the news, but like on the internet, especially with regards to She-Hulk, where people felt like they didn't get enough time to do the visual effects the way they wanted to, and because they're overworked, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have to retread that conversation. I just want to let you all know that the VFX was stellar in this so far. There is some de-aging that you see at a certain point. That looks great, just as well as it has in Marvel films before. I'm happy to, see that. And yeah, so on and so forth. One of the things that I always pay attention to is sound design and music, and I think that a minor complaint I have is that the music is not as cool as I wish it was, or doesn't help the tone, the scene, the feelings as much as I wish it did. It kind of feels like filler for me a lot of times, and I almost wish it just would go away sometimes as opposed to being there.
I didn't find it particularly memorable,
right,
to be honest. Like, you mentioning it at all, I'm like, didn't really like stand out for me.
You know what happened? I got in my car today, and what came on was like the Watchmen music from Trent Reznor, and that music from the Watchmen, I think it was from the show. I think that's where.
Oh, from the show, the HBO show.
Yeah, and this song came on. I'm like, what is this song? This is super cool. I might be able to find it for you and play like a second of it. The song is called "He Was Never Here."
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Like that kind of music?
Yep.
It would have fit this perfectly. Why they didn't get that kind of music for the show is beyond me.
Should have called Trent Reznor.
They should have called Trent Reznor. That's a small complaint, in the grand scheme of things. But it would have been nice if they had that kind of music behind it.
And coming back to the violence and the action, it was actually done really well, I thought. Like, I could see everything. You brought up something where you were like, whenever they used stunt people, they did it in such a way where it was not super obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, for sure.
You've got that to look forward to. Just some dope moves.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
The guy playing Talos, Ben Mendelsohn, is a fantastic actor. And in these first 2 episodes, you really get to see some stuff from him. And it's fascinating because it's one of those things where he hasn't really gotten to flex his acting chops while participating in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet. This is the first time we really get to see him do that. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, for me, as a grown-up, like, watching him do his thing and have emotion, not like overt, like, emo on display kind of stuff, but like stuff that's like, just like,
Well, yeah, that's where the acting is so good. It's so powerful. Everything feels really lived in. And
exactly.
I mean, to a certain extent, it's like, yeah, at this point it ought to, because this MCU has been going on for so long now. Like, the history is so rich, but also we're dealing with a lot of amazing talent here who can really do justice to the work and elevate it.
Yeah. They also bring in a great explanation for once, finally, as to why the Avengers can't show up, why none of the other superheroes can show up. They actually addressed it for a change, which I was like, what? Okay, cool. Like, they're actually speaking to the audience. It felt a little bit meta, to actually go there. There are shots that characters take at each other that is unexpected. Episode 2, I will say this real quick, just in terms of a feeling. It didn't like win me over as much as episode 1. And what I said in the beginning of our review for that was, this tracks with everything that I've experienced from Marvel. Episode 1 usually does win me over. The pilot episode is usually the strongest, and I get frustrated at none of the other episodes ever measuring up to that setup. It wasn't like it went off the deep end. It was like, oh, that was cool still. Like, that was nice. It just didn't have the conspiracy espionage vibe. Oh, how did you phrase it? Like that kind of espionage thriller vibe that the first episode had. The first episode was the superior episode, in my opinion, in that regard. But it's still cool. Like, it's still a good episode. And it still maintains, for the most part, that sort of mature quality that you get with episode 1. It's just not as slow.
Yeah.
It definitely kind of picks up the pace, in my opinion. But it explores things that, for someone like myself who grew up a conspiracy theorist, it explores things where you're like, oh my God, like, they're addressing all those things. Kind of like how The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions kind of sought to explain where guardian angels come from, if you ever saw a guardian angel or a vampire or a devil. They sought to explain all these myths. And in a way, Secret Invasion is explaining the stuff talked about by conspiracy theorists. And I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah. They had a strong first 2 episodes. That's what we watched. And it's enough to keep you questioning things and wanting to know more.
Exactly. And we got 4 more episodes to look forward to after that. You guys, thanks so much for hanging. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys feel after the show comes out. I'm Jabby Koei. This is
Achara Kirk.
Peace out.